Okay, good afternoon. My name is Dr. Noah Crespo. I'm the Associate Director of Para 18. Thank you for being here. This presentation is going to be recorded and it's going to be shared in our platforms for all of you that are interested in our program. So BioLeap, it's an incubation program that is funded by the Economic Development Administration. And a little bit more information uh, about the program. First is that we are part of the Puerto Rico Science, Technology, and Research Trust. This is a private, nonprofit organization created by law in 2004, and it was meant to be a facilitator of science and technology development in Puerto Rico, also to provide impact in the economy of Puerto Rico. The trust has several programs, but in my case, Parallel 18 is a program that was developed as a international startup program. And the Parallel 18, what we do is we provide high quality business training, funding, and network to help startups scale. A bit more information about the trust is that the Puerto Rico Science, Technology, and Research Trust is mission is to invest, facilitate, and build capacity to advance Puerto Rico economy and its citizens, driving innovation in the enterprises, science, technology, and public health. The vision is that Puerto Rico is globally recognized as an innovation hub. Like I mentioned, the trust has different programs, and they are organized in four pillars. We have the research and development pillars, we have the entrepreneurship pillar, the public health, and foundation. A little bit more information about Parallel 18, like I mentioned, is a startup program. It has four main programs right now. We have a pre-18, which is a pre-accelerator for Puerto Rican startups. We have a P18, which is our international acceleration program. We have Expand, which is our post-acceleration program for Puerto Rican companies that wants to continue growth in Puerto Rico. And then we have BioLeap, which I'll be talking a little bit more today. We have two sub-programs. These two sub-programs are vital and they provide support to the other four programs. The first sub-program is going to be Parallel 18 Ventures. The focus of this sub-program is creating investment opportunities for all Parallel 18 alumni. And then the second sub-program is Parallel 18 Connect. Again, focusing on creating corporate partnerships for those startups within any of our program. Just for general information, Parallel 18 has been here in Puerto Rico for 8 years. And those 8 years, we have graduated more than 450 companies. Those companies have created over 900 jobs. And a little bit of the metrics is that globally, throughout this 8 years, companies from our programs have generated around 400 millions in revenue. And investment, again, globally, companies graduated from Parallel 18 have raised investments around $320 million. But more specific about BioLeap. BioLeap is a life science and a STEM innovation incubation program. Again, it's within the Puerto Rico Science, Technology, and Research Trust, but it's managed by the Parallel 18 team, and is looking to serve and increase economic development through innovation in the life science sector. Some of the focus areas of the projects that we consider for our incubator are biotechnology, agrotechnology, medical devices, diagnostics, medical technologies, AI platforms, and more. We are very proud that BioLeap utilizes a lot of the programs within the trust to just expand the support that we can give our startups. So one of the programs that we work really closely that is uh, in the trust is the Technology Transfer Office. And the TTO provides a lot of support of um, of companies that, in terms of the IP or intellectual property strategy, they help them with the all that strategy of just from the disclosure of technology all the way to licensing. Colmena 66 is another program within the trust that help us in terms of the ecosystem of entrepreneurships. They connect entrepreneurs with all the resources that can be found here in the island. They also are managing the SBIR STTR grant program, which is mainly focused in providing technical assistance for participants that are looking into create competitive SBIR proposals. Then we have the research grant program. That is our local grant, peer review grants system that we have here in Puerto Rico. The research grant program can be, it has two flavors. It's a 70K grant for early careers or 150K grant for researchers or companies. And lastly, a lot of um, we have the Puerto Rico Consortium on Clinical Investigation, and they help us all matters with clinical investigation or clinical trials. So more in detail about the program. So BioLeap has two phases, has a 12-week curriculum that is designated to instruct entrepreneurs in the life science sector. And what we're looking for is for researchers or inventors to understand how to do business in the industry. After that, we have a 14-week period of technical assistance. In that phase, we have a lot of one-on-one mentorships with our mentor network, and they a lot of the things that can be provided in that technical assistance is regulatory and compliance strategies, IP strategies, grant writing support, business development, access to capital, and others. So what are the type of programs that can be admitted in our program? Well, there are three components. The first one is an individual or a company that has a novel and functional prototype. It, it could be a proof of concept or a platform technology in the life sciences. Uh, the individual or company must show the capacity or proper track record to ensure appropriate development of the project that they are submitting. And finally, the individual or company has to be either a US citizen, permanent resident, or a US company that anticipate ongoing R&D or research and development efforts in Puerto Rico. In terms of the selection process, there's 3 rounds. The first one is screening. So part of our staff will assess all the applications to ensure that they meet our criteria. Then we have a judging round. We have an external committee, right? So BioLeap does not uh, assign any uh, uh, points or comments of the projects. We have an external committee, and they are the ones that go through the information in the applications. They assign the values of the criteria, and they submit those evaluation to us. And thirdly, we have a selection round, which is a different committee. And this selection committee pretty much look at the ranking of the judges and select the top 15 companies. So this year for Gen.2, we're selecting 15 companies um, to join our program. This is the evaluation criteria. So first, we have the research product and service. That's 30%. So what the evaluators are looking into this is what is the science, what's the research like, is a good product, is it a good service, and everything it looks attractive or is part of a trending technology. Those are the stuff that the evaluators will be looking in that research product or service. The second component is the market and competitive positioning, right? So is this idea, is this proof of concept in a market that is growing and is a market that is not growing? What are the competition within this? What the other startups out there that can be possible competitors? So evaluators will be looking into that and assign some points associated with that. Then we have team qualifications and experience. So in the process of applying, this is very important that investigators or inventors that are forming this team can very much provide evidence of the CV, how many years in the research, how many years developing the technology. It's put into the applications for us to assign that 50%. And then we go into the commercialization strategy, and that's 50%. In the commercialization strategy, what we're looking for, or the evaluators, what we'll take into consideration is what's the IP looks like. Is it has a provisional patent? Is the person already have established some a basic business model? Does it have an idea of what the pricing of the service will look like? That will be some of the things that be considered in the commercialization strategy. And finally, funding readiness. Funding readiness is more into is the researcher have some R1s or an approved SBIR or any funding from a an institution, perhaps an award, some kind of validation that the idea has already had some engagement from other entities that have provide some capital. So all of these 5 components are the information in the application that needs to be very clear. It needs to be put a lot of thought and a lot of good arguments, because are the 5 components that the judge will see and will evaluate. So in our last cycle, I will see applications with a weak explanation of the research and the product or service, and that obviously will end up in applications that are not successful, because as much information that you can provide, the impact and the problem that you can talk about the research, obviously will give you more chances of the judges understand the problem and see the significance of the program of the project. Sorry. So take a good look at this 5 components, and as you go into the application, uh, take some time to provide the information needed because this is what the judges will be looking for. In terms of how the program works, for you to have an idea, uh, in the 12-week program, which is the first phase, you're gonna have what you see in this slide. Pretty much, you will see uh, a twice a week seminar for 12 weeks. Those seminars are going to be virtual, and it's going to be in the afternoons because we understand that a lot of the um, 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 professors or researchers are more likely more available in the afternoon. So the seminars are in the afternoon, are virtual, and it's going to be for 12 weeks. Besides that, we're going to have some catch-up meetings. Those are going to be bi-weekly, and it's going to be with the BioLeap staff. These catch-up meetings are meant to track progress. And then we have an additional components to the program is we have some events that are going to be pretty much throughout the 2 phases. So throughout those around 6 months, you'll see some meet the founders. It pretty much is a fireside chat with successful entrepreneurs. And you're gonna see a lot of Parallel 18 Connect networking events and the Parallel 18 Venture gatherings, which is events that are meant for entrepreneurs that are part of our program to connect with corporate partners and investors. So what are the perks? So why should I consider apply for BioLeap? So a lot of the things that we can offer, first of all, we have a co-working space. We have 10,000 square feet space here in Cupey, Puerto Rico. This space is available for all participants. We have some conference rooms that the team can just meet here and strategize better. Or if you have a board meeting, you can have them in our co-working space. Obviously, we have a one-on-one mentor sessions, and they are critical because they are mentors that have a lot of experience in their particular fields, and they can just help with intellectual property. They can help with non-dilutive capital strategy. They can help with investment. They can help with regulatory and other topics that are critical in the early stage of the startup. We have a Parallel 18 perk program. So the perk program by itself is we have a portfolio of service providers that are giving their services with a discount to participants. For example, AWS is one of our service providers. AWS has a perk within our program that offers some some credits for using their AWS iCloud cloud. Another thing is access to capital allocators. So we have an extensive investor network. We have over 600 investors in our network. When we believe that the startup is ready, you'll see that a lot of intros and a lot of pitches can be have access to the startups within investors in our network. The same with our corporate partners. We have over 600 corporate partners, and a lot of the events that we have is just connect corporate partners that are perhaps to give an example, Farmacia Caridad is one of our partners. So whenever we have a potential product that can be in a pharmacy shelf, we can connect with those corporate partners and help them go to the next level. Another thing is obviously educational seminars tailored for life science entrepreneurship. We offer SBIR assistance. So our program, Colmena 66, they have a, um, an initiative called a Secretary Grant. In a Secretary Grant, all the people participating in BioLeap in the phase 2, they are allowed to go to a Secretary Grant and have access to their service. Pretty much the service is they have uh, uh, access to grant writers, right? In order to have a competitive SBIR proposal. The other thing that SBIR and Colmena helps is providing a matching fund letter. So when you're about to submit your SBIR, the trust has a matching fund that if you are granted one of the SBIR awards, the trust will match up to 100K for phase 1 and up to 200K for a phase 2 SBIR. Then we have new this year, we have a 2-day boot camp with Indie Bio New York. Indie Bio New York is one of the biggest venture capitalist firms in the US, specifically in the biotech and climate sectors. They have several successful companies that have gone through their initiatives, and they're flying from New York to Puerto Rico for Gen.2 to give a 2-day boot camp that is going to uh, increase immensely the knowledge and the interactions with what to expect from an investor and other topics. Lastly, everything that we do in Parallel 18, all the events, all the mentorships, all the connections are free of charge. The Puerto Rico Science, Technology, and Research Trust is a nonprofit, so we don't charge for any of our service and we don't take equity. We do have an arm that the ones that are interested in our raising capital, they can apply and we can make some investments as another arm. But at least for the all the services provided by BioLeap, we don't take equity and it's free of charge. This is kind of an overview of talking about our Generation 1. Talk about that Generation 1 had very diverse topics in agrotech, medical device, therapeutics, and for AI or bioinformatic platforms. 2 are woman-owned companies, and I kind of cool that 4 of those companies, 4 are founders from the academia. In terms of again, what you will see is that we have 25 seminars and workshops. Gen.1 had 49 pitches to capital allocators. In terms of investment, this a cumulative is this 8 startups have raised. It's not a year yet, but in the last 10 months, they have raised around $1.6 million in investments. There's been 11 federal proposals submitted and over 80 hours of one-on-one mentorships. This is our first cohort. And again, this is our QR code. If you are, you like what you heard, you are ready to start filling the application, you can use this QR code. The open call for BioLeap, it was it's open and it's going to be like that until December the 13th. That is the last day to apply for this Generation 2 BioLeap. We are going to have a cohort of 15 companies. the companies does not necessarily needs to be located in Puerto Rico. They need to have permission to do business in Puerto Rico. So we encourage companies that are um, already in the life science sector with a topic that it's in the STEM or life science to apply and consider opening a subsidiary or having permission to do business in Puerto Rico, and they can also be considered. And again, for more information, you can go to our website, which is parallel18.com/BioLeap. And if there are any questions, I am, available to answer them now. No questions. Everything is super clear.
Hi, Noe, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Marcelo. Thanks for the presentation. One question is, I don't know if I understand correctly, but companies from outside Puerto Rico are allowed to apply if they have a permission.
Yes. So for example, just giving you an example is a company that I don't know is based in Florida. They can apply. Throughout the process, we're gonna help with the company to consider to open like a subsidiary or getting that permission to do business in Puerto Rico. And it's key because Puerto Rico has some really good incentives in manufacturing and research and development, and we want companies to take advantage out of that. So when you apply, we are going to, facilitate a lot of meetings with key stakeholders in Puerto Rico that can help with all the open the subsidiary or getting that permission to do business in Puerto Rico, and then apply for a incentive in research and development. So but it does have to be a U.S. company. That's one of the things I want to make clear. It has to be a U.S. company. It could be the HQ can be in any of the 50 states, and then we help with the whole subsidiary or permission here in the island. Hopefully that answer your question.
Yes. I guess my question is, is it at the very beginning that they need to demonstrate this subsidiary permission, or is something that can happen along the way until, a certain point is really a must-have?
Yeah. So again, just a U.S. company interested in open the subsidiary can apply, and we help them with that part.
Got it. Thank you.
Sure. Any other questions? Jailin, I don't know if we have a recurring questions that we can just throw out there and provide more information.
Yes, of course. Well, one of our frequently asked question is, what industry does the incubator focus on?
The industries, yes. So we very strategically use the term life science and STEM to have a very broad sectors that can apply. So again, agrotech, biotech, healthcare, um, manufacturing, engineering, bioinformatics, big data, AI, platforms, medical devices, diagnostics. We have a very broad sectors that we have, and the projects. Again, I think one of the most important is the project needs to clearly have a problem, right? It has to be a problem within the life science and STEM field that they are solving, and pretty much the development of the technology within that sectors can be just incorporated and it's something that we're looking forward to continue developing in Puerto Rico. Any more questions? Do we have any frequent questions, Jelly? Anyway, so again, I do remember a lot
You
of
hear
people
me?
asking. Oh, okay, now I can hear you.
So does the incubator accept any projects at any stage?
Oh, so the answer, that's a good question. So we are looking, I think the best way to describe projects that we are consider are projects that are SBIR ready, right? So when I say about that is after going through our phase 1, which is capacity building, we want them to submit SBIRs in our phase 2 of the program. So uh, any very ideation, for example, if you have an idea, most likely is not a project considered in BioLeap because um, there are some other resources that we can just offer for those that are in the ideation process. We are more interested in projects that have, again, already like an MVP, or a lab, for example, a researcher that has a lab and it has a couple of papers and thinking on a patent. Those are projects that we're interested because already has a proof of concept. But ideation is the only one of the stages of design thinking that we will not necessarily consider, and we will provide other resources for those really early ideas. Uh, but again, BioLeap, it has to be SBIR ready. Hopefully that is clear.
Another frequently asked question is, can I reapply if my startup isn't selected the first time?
Sure. So yeah, definitely reapply if in our first cycle you were unable to join us. Definitely for Gen.2, you can reapply, and there's, actually it's going to be even better because you're already in our system. We can just pull a lot of the information. You have to put a new application, uh but yeah, definitely reapply. I don't know if there are any other questions, but if the if the people watching us right now or the video, you can always contact info at parallel18.com. That's an email address that you can just send an email with the questions. Also, again, a lot of information is going to be in on our website. If you go into the www.parallel18.com BioLeap, it will take you into our landing page. A lot of the information that I presented today is there, and the link for the application as well. So those are the best two ways to have more information, through our landing page and through our email, info at parallel18.com. Thank you for so much for the ones that joined me today. Thank you for the ones watching the video after. Hopefully we are providing the information that you need. and you are encouraged to apply, we are definitely think that this program is making a lot of development in our ecosystem. So the life science entrepreneurship is something that is just starting here in Puerto Rico, and we are very happy to be impacting and creating an ecosystem now with Gen 1 participants being part of a network, excited to meet what Generation 2 will be look like. We are very excited that IndieBio is collaborating with us, and we think that this Generation 2 is just going to have even more success. So we're excited and we're very happy. And again, welcome to apply until December 13th. Thank you so much, everybody, and have a good afternoon.